Now joining us to decipher the path ahead, Derek Grossman, Senior Defense Analyst at the RAND Corporation. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Grossman. Now, you've said on record that New Delhi has been mostly successful in pushing back against Beijing's rising influence across the region. You highlighted that India is no longer losing and may even be winning its strategic competition with China in the region. Tell us more about this conclusion you've drawn.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And so when you look across South Asia, and my piece particularly looked at the smaller and medium-sized countries that are kind of getting caught in the middle of increasing China-India competition, whether it's Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, or Sri Lanka, what you find is that there are certain factors at play here that benefit India a lot. To be frank, a lot of it is the result of internal domestic politics within each of these countries that have elected governments more supportive of India than of China. But India has also competed valiantly against China when it comes especially to economic projects that tend to rival China's Belt and Road Initiative in places like Bangladesh in particular. But of course you have to consider China's relationship with Pakistan continues to be to strengthen, and so that is kind of an outlier in my analysis. But even there, India-Pakistan relations have not gotten significantly worse, and so that is a victory of sorts for India.
Right. China is also experiencing what many would say is a rare period of falling prices as consumer and business demand weakens. A prolonged property market slump in China, plunging demand for exports, and subdued consumer spending are weighing on the economy's recovery. Now, Mr. Grossman, many are under the impression that China is feeling more unsure of itself, and many feel that India has proved to be adept and agile in advancing its interests. How do you perceive it?
Yeah, I think that China's mounting economic woes are certainly going to, and already have had an effect on its standing on the international stage. But, that said, this is a long-term game here, right? And so China is still dealing, I think, with the after effects of COVID lockdowns, strict COVID lockdowns within its country. It's also dealing with the United States in concert with India and other like-minded allies and partners kind of collectively shutting China out of certain sectors of the economy by trying to redirect supply chains and things like that. And so there are a number of things that are going on the economic side that are going to have a big impact on China's ability to be economically strong, right? But China is also working to improve its ability to operate economically without dependence on the West, right? There's been a big push for many years within China to pursue indigenous innovation technologies, right? And so we'll see how this plays out. Again, this is a longer term game, but at least for now, China's economic vitality, I think, is in question, and that alone is going to cause some uncertainty in the international system.
Right. As we wrap, do you endorse that New Delhi needs to find ways of pushing back that serve as a deterrent to Beijing, whether it's strengthening India's military positions along the border or bolstering intelligence cooperation with partners like the United States?
I do, yes. I think that India, what's clear from the Doklam standoff in 2017 or the more recent Galwan Valley clashes in 2020 is that China is looking at the disputed border, the line of actual control, and thinking that it could potentially seize more territory there if India is not paying attention. And India, of course, is perfectly capable of conducting operations along the LAC on its own, but it never hurts to have friends in high places, so to speak, to help you out and to bolster deterrence. And so I think that makes sense going forward. Especially you mentioned, on intelligence collaboration, it's clear that from reporting that we've seen that the United States at times has supported the Indian military by providing intelligence, and so those types of things are kind of an augmenting factor in India's ability to conduct operations there and elsewhere.
Well, it's always a pleasure to hear your views, Derek Grossman. Thank you so much for joining us on NDTV.
Thanks. Take care.